You ever notice how you feel physically anxious when you check your bank account? Or maybe you're the opposite. You can't stop checking it, like 5 times a day, even though nothing's changed since this morning. Here's the thing. That's not actually about your bank account. That's about being 7 years old and watching your parents fight about money in the kitchen. My name's Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible financial decisions. If you're someone who knows exactly what you should do with your money but somehow keeps doing the opposite, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video if it helped you. Listen, I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. Every single financial decision you made this week, every single one, was influenced by something that happened before you were 12 years old, and most of you have no idea it's even happening. A study from the University of Cambridge found that our money habits are formed by age 7. 7! You weren't even doing your own laundry, but your brain was already writing the code for how you'd handle a $3,000 emergency 20 years later. Here's what most people don't understand. Financial trauma is real, and it doesn't require some dramatic event. You don't need to have grown up poor or experienced a foreclosure. Sometimes it's just silence. The fact that money was never discussed, or it was only discussed in whispers, or it was discussed by screaming. Let me give you 3 examples, and I want you to see if you recognize yourself. This is the person who grew up with financial instability. Maybe not poverty, but inconsistency. Some months were fine, some months were stressful. And now, as an adult, when they have money, they spend it immediately. Not on stupid stuff necessarily, but they just can't let it sit there. Why? Because their 7-year-old brain learned that money disappears. So when you have it, you better use it for something good right now, because who knows what tomorrow brings. This person might make $75,000 a year and still feel broke because the money just evaporates. They're not irresponsible, they're terrified. This is the opposite. This person grew up with scarcity, and now they can't spend money even when they should. They've got $40,000 in savings, but they're driving a car that breaks down twice a month. They'll skip the dentist because it's too expensive even though they can afford it. They're eating ramen by choice, not necessity. Their childhood brain learned that spending money equals danger. Every dollar spent is a dollar you might desperately need later. So they optimize for survival, not living. And here's the cruel part. They often end up spending more in the long run because they won't invest in preventative care, quality items, or their own skill development. This person just doesn't look at their finances. Bills pile up. Bank accounts go unchecked. They might make decent money, but they couldn't tell you their net worth if their life depended on it. They're not lazy. They're protecting themselves from shame. See, somewhere in their childhood, money became connected to self-worth. Maybe their parents compared them to other families. Maybe they were punished for asking for things. Maybe money was used as a weapon in their household. So now, looking at their bank account feels like looking at a report card that tells them whether they're a good person. And that's too painful, so they just don't look. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, Jack, cool therapy session, but what does this have to do with my actual bank account? Everything. Because here's where it gets interesting. According to research from Duke University, about 45% of our daily behaviors are habits, not conscious decisions. And financial behavior, that's almost entirely habitual. You're not making rational choices. You're running a program that was installed decades ago. Let me show you what this looks like in dollars and cents. Let's say you're a scarcity spender, making $65,000 a year. After taxes, you're taking home about $4,000 a month. You're not buying luxury items, but somehow you end every month with maybe $100 left over. Where did it go? It went to the little things, the treat-yourself purchases because you deserve it after a hard week, the slightly nicer version of everything because you should enjoy your money, the spontaneous dinner out because it's just $40. Over a year, that's maybe $500 a month or $6,000 annually that could have gone to investments. At a 7% return over 30 years, that $6,000 per year becomes $566,764, more than $500,000. That's not your future retirement, that's your childhood fear compounded. Here's what most people don't realize. You can't budget your way out of a psychological pattern. You can't willpower your way through childhood conditioning because the pattern isn't in your calendar, it's in your nervous system. So, here's what actually works. Step 1. Name the pattern. Get specific about what your childhood taught you about money. Was money a source of conflict, a secret, a weapon? When you were 8 and asked your parents for something, what happened? That exact emotional texture, that's what you're recreating every time you interact with money now. Step 2. Separate past from present. Your 7-year-old brain doesn't know you're an adult now. So when you're about to buy something and feel that anxiety spike, stop. Say to yourself, I am not 7 years old. I am not asking permission. I am making a conscious choice. Sounds cheesy? Does it work? Absolutely. Step 3. Make your money boring. Automate everything. Transfers to savings, investments, bills. Why? Because automation removes the emotional decision point. Your childhood patterns can't hijack a decision you're not consciously making. Step 4. Create new data points. Start tiny. Keep $1,000 in savings for 3 months without touching it. Check your account once a week without spiraling. Every time you do this, you're telling your brain the old story was wrong. Here's the new data. Look, here's the bottom line. You're not bad with money. You're just running an old program that made sense when you were 7 but doesn't serve you anymore. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. Not overnight, but gradually, with awareness and consistency. Your childhood taught you one story about money. You get to write a new one. If this helped, hit the like button and subscribe for more content about the psychology of money and building actual wealth. I'll see you in the next one.